On Wednesday, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison added a second-degree murder charge to the counts against former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin for the killing of George Floyd, who died after Chauvin pressed his knee into Floyd's neck for almost 9 minutes. Ellison also charged the 3 other officers at the scene when Floyd died. Here is a look at what we learned from Ellison's remarks about the case and from Governor Tim Walz, who also spoke to reporters after the charges against the officers became public. The decision to add charges against former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin to include second-degree murder and to charge the 3 other officers who stood by as George Floyd died came just 2 days after Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison took over the case. "I believe the evidence available to us now supports the stronger charge of second-degree murder for Chauvin," Ellison said Wednesday afternoon. At his side was Hennepin County Attorney Mike Freeman, whose office is assisting in the prosecution. He initial charges of third-degree murder and manslaughter against Chauvin were always subject to be amended, but there was a desire to charge him quickly, and the initial charges were enough to arrest and jail him pending further investigation. The other 3 officers, J. Alexander Kuing, Tu Thao and Thomas K. Lane, now all face charges of aiding and abetting second-degree murder and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. All were fired from the Minneapolis Police Department the day after Floyd's death, but only Chauvin had faced charges before Wednesday. Because they are charged with aiding and abetting a felony, the 3 other officers face the same maximum penalties as for the underlying crime. Up to 40 years in prison. The 3 were taken into custody on Wednesday and are being held at the Hennepin County Jail. Ellison warned that he will be quiet about the building of the case going forward and wouldn't comment on the investigation or the evidence. "Our job is to seek justice and to get a conviction, not to make statements in the press. We'll do our talking in court." He also said building the case could take months. "I don't know how many. But it is better that we have a solid case fully investigated, researched before we go to trial, than to rush it," he said. Ellison also warned that getting a conviction against police officers is difficult, noting that Freeman is the only county attorney in the state to have won a murder conviction, that of Muhammad Noor for killing Justine Damon. Ellison acknowledged that some have called on him to charge Chauvin with first-degree murder. To win a conviction for first-degree murder in Minnesota, however, Ellison would have to prove premeditation and deliberation. For the new charge of second-degree murder, he has to prove that the killing was unintentional in the course of committing a felony. "I pledge and I promise to hold everyone accountable for the behavior that we can prove in a court. If I don't charge it, it means we did not have the facts to do that," Ellison said, adding, "I did not allow public pressure to impact our decision-making process." But he acknowledges suspicion and a lack of trust because our country has under-prosecuted these matters in Minnesota and throughout the country. The lack of trust is a result of historically not holding people who are public guardians accountable for their behavior in situations where we should have. But we can't control the past. All we can do is take the case in front of us and do our good faith best to bring justice to this situation, and we will.
Please subscribe my channel JHTV and click on bell icon for latest news. Thank you.